All right, this is part 2 of section 8.4. Again, we're going to be finding the percent of change. We can also call that the percent of increase or decrease. And the instructions on this part say find out how much the percent changed from 100%. That's the percent of increase or decrease. And state whether it was an increase or decrease. Figuring out whether it's an increase or decrease, again, is a pretty easy thing. We can tell that by reading this first one. Frank's typing speed went from 30 words per minute to 46 words per minute. Well, clearly it went up, so this is going to be an increase of some sort. But the hard part here is figuring out what is the actual percentage of the increase, and this one has not a very nice answer to it. So remember, the new amount is some percent of the old amount. So 46 is some percent of the original 30 words per minute. So we'll write down 46 equals p times 30. We'll divide both sides by 30. Those will cancel, so we'll have a p over here. We'll grab the calculator, and we're going to do 46 divided by 30 and see what we get here. Now, I'm going to move the decimal over 2 places, so this is going to be 153.3333. So that 3 right there in that third spot is not, I should make it look like a 3, is not enough to bump that up. So this is 153.33% of what it used to be. But what it used to be is 100%. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that, and we end up with 53.33%. And because this is positive, and because it went up, this is an increase. And again, if you just wanted to abbreviate with DEC period for decrease and INC period for increase, that would be totally okay. Now, we've done lots of different types of problems that have percents. Let's try a little bit more challenging one. So this says, Rufus had a great basketball season. He scored 333 points, which was an 85% increase over last season. How many did he score last season? Okay, well, let's think about this for just a second. This is how much he scored this season, 85% increase over last season, and the question is, how many did he score last season? So what we've got to do here is we've got to think, well, we want to find the percent that it went up. So he used to score 100%. He had an 85% increase. So he actually scored 185% of what he used to score. So last season, we don't know what that is, but we do know that this season he actually scored, what do we got here? 333 points? That's a lot of points. So this 333 points is actually 185% of last season's amount. So we actually multiply these together to get that one right there. So let's think of it this way. 333 points is 185% of last season. Now stop and think about that for just a second and see if that doesn't make sense. That right there, the 333 points, was an 85% increase over last season. 100% plus 85% is 185%. It's 185% of last season. So we'll do 333 equals, change that to a decimal, 1.85. Last season, we don't know. We'll use an X to represent that. So we're just going to divide both sides by 1.85. Cancel those off, and so we get X equals, let's check and see what we get. 333 divided by, gotta hit divide, divided by 1.85, and it just so happens it turns out to be 180. So 180, so we're going to write 180 points last season. 180 points last season. And I'll make sure that looks right. Okay, so there's the answer to that one. And then let's slide down here in a couple of thought questions before we go on. Is it possible for an amount to decrease more than 100%? The answer is either yes or no, and we want to know why or why not. So if you think about that for just a second, again, we're always comparing to 100%. So let's say we decrease 100%. If we decrease 100%, that means there's 0% left. It's gone. So that's about as low as you go. So we suspect the answer is no, so I'm going to go ahead and put a circle around that. And let's look at a couple of examples. Shelley used to score 26 points, but her scoring decreased by 100%. So she used to score 26 points, but it went down by 100%. Well, 100% of 26 points is 26 points, so she ends up with 0 points. Okay, well, that's definitely possible. Bob used to score 19 points. So Bob used to score 19 points, but his scoring decreased by 150%. So it went down. Well, let's think about 150% of 19. Let's figure out what that is. So 1.5 times 19. So that's actually 28.5 points. 28.5 points. Well, let's throw that in the calculator, and we end up with 19 minus 28.5 points. Okay, can he score negative 9.5 points? Okay, not possible. Okay, so the answer definitely here is no. There are times, I suppose, if you're dealing with some weird situation, not sure where, maybe finances or something like that. But in general, we can't go down more than 100%. If we've got something, we're not going to be able to go in the negative. Okay, circle the self-assessment right there, and good luck on the assignment.